If I walked into your room right now, I bet I would find a guitar gathering dust in the corner, a half-finished coding project on your laptop, and a shelf full of Japanese language books you haven't opened in 6 months. Psychology says that if you feel a deep, almost physical shame looking at these graveyards of abandoned hobbies, you are likely misunderstanding the fundamental architecture of your nervous system. You probably feel like this video is personally attacking you, or like the algorithm has been spying on your thoughts. But the anxiety you feel, that fear that you are broken because you can't just pick a lane, isn't a character defect. It is a symptom of a cognitive trait called multi-potentiality. You don't lack grit. You have a brain that values synthesis over specialization. Before we break down the biology of why you quit, I created a newsletter community where I share knowledgeable psychology about you. So if you would love to join the crew, check it out in the description after watching. The first reason you feel paralyzed is what neurobiology calls the novelty dopamine gap. When you started that art project or martial arts class, your brain flooded with dopamine. This is the novice high. But for you, the drop-off isn't a slope, it's a cliff. Research shows that once your brain decodes the pattern of a skill, once you understand how it works, your dopamine supply cuts off instantly. You feel bored, but it's not just boredom. It feels like physical pain. That is your brain signaling that the data has been harvested, and staying there feels like stagnation. You aren't quitting. You are effectively done with the learning phase. Now, understanding the chemical drop explains the boredom, but it doesn't explain why you can't force yourself to push through like other people. This brings us to a specific area of the brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, or the AMCC. Neuroscientists often refer to this as the willpower muscle. When you do something you don't want to do, this area lights up. For many of you watching, especially those with ADHD tendencies, trying to force focus on a solved puzzle causes this area to fatigue rapidly. You aren't lazy. You are mentally lifting 500 pounds while everyone else is lifting 50. However, having a sensitive AMCC isn't the end of the story. The real tragedy is the lie society told you about your purpose. You've likely heard the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none, used as an insult to keep you in line. But that is a misquote. The full, original adage is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Evolutionary psychology supports this. We are told to specialize, to be the best accountant or the best surgeon. But in a rapidly changing world, the specialist is fragile. If their industry breaks, they break. You, however, are the polymath. When you quit guitar to learn coding, and then quit coding to learn psychology, you didn't waste time. You were building a unique stack of skills that no specialist can compete with. You are the person who can write code with psychological hooks, or create music using mathematical structures. The reframe you need is to stop looking at your life as a series of near misses and failures. You are not starting and stopping. You are collecting and combining. That guitar in the corner served its purpose. It taught you dexterity and rhythm. Those art supplies taught you perspective. You don't need to be in the top 1% of one thing. If you are in the top 25% of 3 different things, you become the only person in the world who can do what you do. So, be gentle with yourself. Stop trying to force your expansive, galaxy brain energy into a cubicle-sized box. Your ability to pivot is not a bug. It is your operating system. Go out there and let yourself be interested in everything, because the world has enough specialists. What we need are people who can see the whole picture. If this video made you feel less alone, drop a brain emoji in the comments to show you're part of the tribe.